The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, this is the official post-fight review for Trevor Bryan versus Bermane Stiverne. Trevor Bryan scores an 11th round stoppage victory over the former WBC title holder to become WBA regular champion. I believe that makes him the regular champion, if I'm not mistaken. But he holds a version of the WBA belt. He is now officially the only American heavyweight with any sort of belt out there. So it's a good step in the right direction for his career. It was a good fight. It was a good fight on Don King TV in conjunction with Fight TV. It was a fight where, Trevor Bryan, there's been a lot of criticism about his resume or lack thereof. And in this particular fight, whether you like Stiverne or you think he's good or not, even at 43 years old, you would say that Bermane Stiverne it was a true step-up fight for Trevor Bryan tonight. It was a chance for him to answer some of the bells and the questions that people have had of him. And Stiverne came to fight. He came to win. He landed some good shots. So was looking for the overhand right all night long. Was a very game fighter tonight. He knew that it was going to be one of his last chances to do anything in boxing, and he fought as good of a fight as he could have fought at 43 years old, Bermane Stiverne. So I like what I saw from Trevor Bryan. Obviously, if you watch the fight, Trevor was heavy. He had a bit of a gut. He looked like a guy. He had the body of a fighter that had not boxed in 2.5, 3 years. So, you take the ring rust into account. You take in the fact that he hasn't fought anybody near a Stiverne level fighter. And I think when you factor all those things in, good performance. When Stiverne was able to land those hard right hands, one thing I liked about Trevor Bryan tonight was he continued he punched back. So if Stiverne landed one overhand right, you see Trevor Bryan punch right back with 2 or 3 punches of his own. Most times he was doubling up and sometimes tripling up the jab. And Trevor Bryan, just knowing him, I know that his favorite fighter is Larry Holmes, and you can kind of see that Larry Holmes' influence on his style. Not to say he's as good as Larry Holmes, but I'm saying he's got that influence on his style to where if a guy lands one big shot, he'll double up and triple up jabs, much like the Eastern Assassin used to do back in his heyday. So I like what I saw from Trevor. He boxed a disciplined fight behind the jab, single jabs, double jabs, triple jabs. We didn't really see as much. I didn't really see as much of the right hand or the uppercuts or the left hooks as I would have liked to. But I'm not going to hold that against Trevor because of the fact that, again, he hasn't fought under the lights in damn near 3 years or whatever it is. 3 years, 2.5, 3 years. He's fighting a guy in Stiverne who's better than anybody's ever fought in the ring. And I know people are going to criticize Trevor Bryan because they're going to say, how could a guy like this go 11 rounds with the old Bermane Stiverne? But what they're not taking into account, if they do make those kind of criticisms, is the fact that Bermane Stiverne and Trevor Bryan are very familiar with each other. These are two guys that used to do a lot of time in the gym together at the Heavyweight Factory back in 2015, 2016. These are guys that I'm more than sure, I actually know for a fact did some sparring in the past. So these guys it's not like Trevor Bryan was going in there tonight and he was fighting a guy that he wasn't familiar with, and vice versa for Stiverne. They were both familiar with each other, and it played that way out. There wasn't much of a feel-out process. It was a good sustained action. You saw good punches and bunches from both fighters, and I love what I saw in Trevor Bryan in the 11th round because his patience and poise, staying behind the jab, it paid off, and he was able to eventually show the right hand, and he did. And he put it right on the button, and he ironed Stiverne out. He scored a couple of knockdowns, and credit to him, fair play to him, man. I know there's a lot of fine tuning that needs to be done. He's far from a finished article, but you gotta take those 3 things into consideration that I mentioned: lack of ring rust, familiarity with the fighter in Stiverne, and the fact that Stiverne is better than pretty much everybody's ever fought. So when you look at those things and you look at how Trevor responded to the little moments of adversity, the tendencies that he showed as far as box behind the jab and punching back when he loses part of an exchange. Those are good things that you can build upon, and that you can fine tune the other things, and you can take those things, build upon them, and become a better fighter as you progress up the professional ranks. But listen, hopefully now that he's won this version of the WBA title, hopefully Trevor Bryan can be more active. You know, we want to see him in there. For his next fight, you know, if I don't think he's gonna be fighting a Joshua or Fury next. So for his next fight, I'd like to see Trevor Bryan step up to like the Charles Martin, Dominic Brazil, Gerald Washington type level. Go fight one of those guys, and if you can look good in one of those fights, that's another good victory on his resume, and you can start making those demands. For the top guys. But you know, you gotta take those into consideration when you talk about Trevor. Good performance, and I think he can only get better. You know, he came in tonight 267 pounds. He looks like he's been eating some good Jamaican beef patties and then all the Jamaican food, because he did have a gut. So it's up to him, and it's down to him and Stacey McKinley and his team to go to the gym and lose the weight. And hopefully get him down to like 245, 250, something like that. Because I would like to see Trevor Bryan be a little bit more nimble on his feet, and I think that's his weight and how high his weight was part of the reason why he wasn't able to throw the shots, more of the shots that I wanted to see. But you can't argue with the result. You can't argue with the good things that he showed in this fight, and just overall good performance. So shout out to Trevor Bryan. You know, he is a friend of the channel, but he's also someone that is going to be a player in the heavyweight division, whether you like it or not. He is. You know, Don King's got that influence in the WBA. He's now got a version of the WBA title. He did just stop a former world title holder or champion in Bermane Stiverne. So make of that what you will. He's here. Trevor the Dream Bryan, Albany, New York's very own, by Pompano, Florida's very own, one of South Florida's adopted very own. Trevor Bryan gets the 11th round stoppage over former WBC title holder Bermane Stiverne. Shout out to Stiverne. It was a game effort, a cagey effort, and as good of a fight as he could fight at this stage of his career. So I got nothing bad to say about Stiverne. God bless Stiverne, and that's his last fight of his career. You know, he can go out with his head held high. But you guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you caught the fight, what did you make of Trevor Bryan's performance? Who do you want to see him in there with next? And yeah, just any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns regarding Trevor the Dream Bryan, drop them down below. Make sure you take the time to subscribe. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just giving from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.